You may not be a banana farmer in the field wanting to go home, but we highlight some of the processes of getting this awesome staple onto your plate. Cook it with tilapia and you get a wholesome meal. So on the program, you will also see how the government is facilitating investments in the production of tilapia. There is so much more on today's Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay with us.
Hey boy, kick the ball, man. Oh, kick the ball, go for the ball.
When I go for the ball, see, go in the traffic.
Oh, I'm at the ball, brother.
Hey boy, how are you do?
What the boom did I go for, sir?
Listen me now. If you need to cross the street, make sure that you always use the pedestrian crossing. And if none of the cross at the nearest traffic light. No bother with no foolishness. While you're having fun, be safe.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, July 20, 2023. The House of Representatives on Wednesday approved the addition of over $14 billion to the national budget to make payments under the Public Sector Compensation Review. This pushes the budget up to $1.036 trillion. The distribution is outlined in the second supplementary estimates for the current 2023-2024 financial year, which was tabled in the House on Tuesday by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark. He says $8.9 billion will go towards compensation restructure and $5.6 billion is earmarked for loans to public bodies.
The second supplementary estimate therefore provides for an overall increase of $14.5 billion in the financial year 23-24 expenditure estimates, which will be financed from an estimated $9 billion higher than program revenue flow and utilization of prior year cash resources to finance the public body loans. The central government spend for the fiscal year is now estimated at $1.06 trillion, up from $1.021 trillion.
The first supplementary estimates for public bodies' revenue and expenditure was also approved on Wednesday. Farmers whose production have been impacted by the drought affecting the island are to benefit from an additional $104 million in support from the government. The money is being provided by the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining and follows a $202 million allocation in March of this year. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green made the announcement during a statement to the House of Representatives on Wednesday.
To address the challenges of water scarcity and drought caused by climate change, we've initiated a comprehensive program for the trucking of water to farming communities. This program aims to provide temporary relief by delivering water to areas where access to irrigation is limited.
$10 million is allocated to provide irrigation drip kits for some farmers, and another $8 million will be used to truck water to farmers in need. 3 water trucks will also be procured at a cost of $48 million to support these activities. Measures are also being put in place to ensure long-term water security for farmers.
We're going to be helping to desilt reservoirs, constructing check dams, and implementing soil conservation techniques, and importantly, rehabilitating catchment areas so that we can increase their water holding capacity, improve water quality, and enhance resilience. We have identified $15 million to rehabilitate catchment areas across Jamaica.
In addition to these interventions, the Agriculture Ministry will be providing $20 million to purchase vegetable seeds, as this area of the sector has been hardest hit by the drought. Another $3 million will finance the procurement of mulch for use in conserving soil moisture, reducing weed growth, and maintaining soil temperature. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is urging Jamaicans to remain vigilant and take precautions to protect themselves and others as the country experiences a continued increase in COVID-19 cases. 227 COVID-19 cases have been recorded in the past week, representing a 290% increase over the previous week's figures. The weekly positivity rate was 22.7%. As of July 18, Jamaica has recorded a total of 155,705 confirmed COVID-19 cases and 3,588 related deaths. The ministry is also reporting an increase in weekly admissions for lower respiratory tract infections or pneumonia, which it attributes to COVID and sporadic cases of influenza B and influenza A. COVID-19 isolation and general hospital occupancy levels have also increased over the past week. Currently, there are 120 patients in hospital isolation across the country, 55 of whom are confirmed positive and 65 are suspected cases of COVID-19. There are currently 22 moderately ill and 2 severely ill patients, but no critically ill patients in hospital at this time. As the ministry continues to monitor the uptick in cases, Jamaicans are being urged to take the necessary precautions.
Our message continues to be, if you are vulnerable, if you are in doubt, if you're concerned, see your doctor, and there are infection prevention control mechanisms that are standard operating procedure. The mask wearing, the sanitizing, the avoiding of crowds, particularly if you fall in the vulnerable category. The over 65s, the people with underlying conditions, cancers, that sort of thing, then you clearly become more vulnerable than most. And of course, frontline workers.
The health minister was addressing this week's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House. The proposed members of the Sexual Harassment Tribunal is to go before Cabinet for approval next week, Monday. Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Grange, gave that update during a statement to the House of Representatives on Tuesday. The Sexual Harassment Protection and Prevention Act 2021 outlines that a 14-member Sexual Harassment Tribunal be established as an appropriate dispute resolution mechanism for investigating allegations and administering penalties to offenders. Minister Grange says the members will be announced once Cabinet has indicated its approval.
Eligibility criteria to serve on the tribunal must entail professional qualifications and extensive experience in roles such as attorneys at law for 4 members, mediators for 4 members, and gender affairs, mental health, employer representation, and labor relations for the remaining 6 members.
The Sexual Harassment Tribunal has jurisdiction for hearing complaints and resolving disputes related to the law.
Due to the lack of structure or workplace policy to address complaints of sexual harassment, individuals who make these complaints often find themselves being adversely treated. They may be overlooked for promotion, branded as troublemakers, transferred from their department, or in some cases terminated.
The Act contemplates the provision of a specialized adjudicatory setting similar to the Industrial Disputes Tribunal, which would be accessible to persons alleging sexual harassment in institutions. Its goal would be to ensure fair and expeditious settlements. Within the next 2 months, government will be advertising the post for a Chief Information Officer, CIO, to support the establishment of the ICT Authority. Minister with Oversight for Skills and Digital Transformation, Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, says the hiring of a national CIO is critical to the process of increasing the use of technology in government. Among the expected outcomes are improved efficiencies and the introduction and streamlining of new systems.
eGov has been doing a fantastic job with limited resources in terms of holding this down, and it is envisioned that members of the eGov team will move into this new entity, but it will be a completely new entity that will be built out with the kind of skill sets that we need, and we're very much advanced in terms of looking at the structure. We've been working with the Minister of Finance on that structure, and so that is to come during the course of this year.
Dr. Morris-Dixon was speaking at this week's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House. And finally, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, is discounting recent media reports of a diplomatic row between Jamaica and the United States. According to the minister, the governments of both countries continue to enjoy strong and positive diplomatic relations. Senator Johnson-Smith points out that in accordance with diplomatic practice and within the ambit of its constitution, Jamaica grants privileges and immunities to incoming diplomats, their staff and families, to either reside in or visit the country. She says all requests made to the Foreign Affairs Ministry are considered within this context, and members of staff from both countries continue to reside and work in each other's territory and are expected to observe the laws of their host country. Minister with responsibility for information, Robert Morgan, read the Foreign Affairs Minister's statement during Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing.
The people-to-people relations between Jamaica and the United States have been a most successful era of cooperation, and we look forward to their continuation. There is no diplomatic spat or as the media reported, diplomatic row between Jamaica and the United States as we continue to enjoy strong and positive diplomatic relations.
The minister notes that similar sentiments have been echoed by the United States. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Children are the future, and ensuring our future is healthy requires that children are always provided with nutritious foods to grow well and live long. Unhealthy diets high in sugar, salt, and fat consumed by children may make them obese and prone to non-communicable diseases later in life. Healthy foods and beverages not only help them learn better, but also protects them from non-communicable diseases such as some cancers, diabetes, hypertension, and cardiovascular diseases in their childhood and adult life. So, whether it's at home, in the lunch bag, or at school, let's make healthy foods and beverages for our children the only rule.
Through investments in tilapia production, the government has been facilitating an affordable solution to expanding the island's food security. Take a look.
According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, in a 2011 UN-published report, Jamaica has one of the highest levels of fish consumption per capita in the Americas, with 30.6 kilograms of raw fish weight per annum. A substantial portion of the over 80% of marine fish consumed in Jamaica is, however, imported. The National Fisheries Authority is therefore focusing on tilapia production and marketing to meet the growing local appetite for fish. This has become necessary, especially due to the decline in coral reef fish stocks, the increasing demand for seafood, coupled with the huge untapped local market for tilapia, providing a perfect opportunity to increase import substitution.
Tilapia is very important to the Jamaica food security strategy. For one, it's a priority under the National Fisheries Authority as to increase food and nutritional security. There are a lot of agricultural lands available that are capable of having fish ponds on it. There's also other government agencies who are looking to collaborate with to be creating aquaculture parks where we'll be having multiple ponds where persons can come on to grow their fish there, where we'll have the setups. We're teaching our farmers to do this as a business, to do it technically sound, to use the technical advice that the NFA will provide for them so that they will be able to become more profitable, where the growth times will be shorter, where the quality of the fish will be better, where the consumer will be happier.
Getting started in fish farming, it's as easy as ABC. Persons first need to get in contact with the National Fisheries Authority. Then, someone from our office will actually come, speak to the person, make arrangement to come and visit the location, and then we'll do what we call a site evaluation. Your next step is to get registered with the National Fisheries Authority. Registration process is easy. You call our office, also someone will come and verify that you are a farmer, and you would need some items such as a government issued ID, 2 passport size pictures certified by a JP, fill out the application form, and only $600.
The local industry is regulated and supported by the government to ensure quality standards.
Farmers will have to maintain their water quality where possible. They can get it assessed if needed. If you are feeding your tilapia according to stocking density, making sure that they're getting the right quantity of feed, then it reduces the risk of you overfeeding the pond, and feed that is not eaten by the fish will then stay in the pond and become rotted. That will of course disrupt your water quality. This is the algae that they will feed on that will permeate through their system and causes the flesh to taste like mud.
Depending on the size of the pond, so if it's a 1 acre pond, well, that 1 acre pond can stock anywhere between 10 to 15,000 advanced fries, and those normally take 6 months to reach maturity.
If you live on your farm, it can be extremely profitable. You can make 50% on your investment in every crop. We look for ponds that are not aerated, not artificially aerated. We look for about 4,000 pounds per acre per crop. And ponds that are aerated, we look for between 6,500 to 8,000 pounds per acre. You have to maintain the best water quality possible, especially as you approach harvest time.
A lot of people in Jamaica don't really fully know about tilapia. I introduce it to a lot of people, and some of them are my best customers now. And before that, they never know much about tilapia.
Aquaculture, especially that of tilapia, can fill the gap in the health-conscious demand for quality seafood products. Its firm texture and mild flavor makes it ideal for a variety of cooking methods. Tilapia also offers several attractive benefits for the householder and food service providers. Its high appeal and high profit as a center-of-the-plate item. Menu versatility, as tilapia works well with many different flavor profiles. The fact that it is low in calorie and fat for healthy menu applications. It is free of saturated fats, high in omega-3 fatty acids, a good source of protein for weight management, a natural fish which originated in Africa.
You can have tilapia taste whatever way you want it to taste. If we get more Jamaicans supporting this and buying product Jamaica, because that's really what it is, because it's grown and produced here, it can do wonders for the economy.
And while the appetite for tilapia is big at home, this versatile product is increasing in popularity in North America and Europe, providing lucrative export potential.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
You can eat it when it's ripe, fry or boil it when it's green, or blend it and make porridge or fritters. I'm talking about bananas. Production over the years has had its fair share of ups and downs, but with commitment and support, the sector is standing its ground.
As early as the 1800s, Jamaica enjoyed a robust banana industry, and by 1866, the country began its export trade of the fruit. It was one of the top export produce and drivers of foreign exchange for the country.
Banana till the morning come.
For years, the country and farmers alike enjoyed the success which saw up to 70,000 tons of banana being exported in 1993. But in the midst of this achievement were great challenges. The sector grappled with varying diseases and frequent storms and hurricanes like Gilbert in 1988 and Charlie in 1951. The banana industry also had to face trade liberalization, falling prices, and low competitiveness. This triggered a gradual decrease in export. The final blow to the banana industry and to the livelihoods of many farmers was the passing of Hurricane Dean and Tropical Storm Gustav in 2007 and 2008. During this time, export fell to its lowest level. Some 800 jobs were lost, with the closure of an estate in St. Thomas by a major stakeholder. Eventually in 2008, the export of bananas stopped. With the support of the European Union, a long-standing partner, which provided funding, the government of Jamaica implemented programs to revive the banana sector. Between 2009 and 2011, priority was given to strengthening the technical and administrative support teams of the Banana Board. And it was during this period that the EU Banana Support Program was established. This strategic approach to revitalize the banana industry would see production picking up and the resumption of export in 2011. The revitalization of the industry saw the implementation of the Jamaica Banana Accompanying Measures (JBAM) program in 2012. Approximately 1,400 farmers in banana-producing parishes of St. Catherine, St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary and St. James are targeted under the program. They are introduced to new varieties of the crop, notably the Fia. This type gives 30 to 50% more yield and is good for cooking and producing chips. As the focal point with all Jamaica's international development partners, the PIOJ works with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, to ensure that the funds provided by the EU support the country's long-term development goals. Among the outcomes of the Jamaica Banana Accompanying Measures program are improvements to the Banana Board's laboratories. The research and development labs were outfitted with the latest equipment to carry out testing on disease samples and develop pesticides. The Banana Board is now able to produce a variety of plantlets from their new tissue culture biofactory. The projection is for the board to produce 120,000 tissue culture plantlets that is to be supplied to participating farmers of the JBAM program per year. The calculated intervention by both the government of Jamaica and the European Union also allowed for the continued operations of the banana breeding station at Bodles in Old Harbour in St. Catherine. The Banana Board currently maintains over 150 varieties of disease-resistant banana plants. The impact of the JBAM program is far-reaching. Not only are the farmers empowered to produce, but they are able to employ workers, thus spreading the financial gains across rural communities. Another advantage to the farmers is that they get the opportunity to acquire the Global Good Agricultural Practices certification. With this international standard, they are able to trade in the export market. The certification exercise is administered under the sub-program of JBAM called the Banana Export Expansion Program, BEEP. Its main objectives are to increase banana production with international standards, develop the technical and infrastructural support of the industry, and preserve the industry's competitiveness in both the export and domestic markets.
Well, the assistance that I have gotten is tremendous. We have a huge storeroom that we have compartmentalized to facilitate smooth operation and to prevent contamination and to make us more efficient. By ourselves, we would not have been able to.
I've also received over $1.25 million in grant from this program, this BEEP program, and this grant was used as infrastructural development. My farm is now certified as an export farm, so I'm now able to export my own fruit to various overseas countries.
The Banana Board has seen a steady increase in the export of banana and wants to take it further. Export markets currently include the Cayman Islands, Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom.
Having an idea of the weather for a day or a particular period helps in planning and preparation for sectors like farming. It also guides our decisions on how to dress and take precautionary measures. But how is the Met Office able to predict the outcome of the weather? Find out more in this next feature.
Well, the whole business of weather prediction and weather forecasting is really a complex business. So what the Meteorological Service does, along with many other meteorological services right across the globe, is that we do regular observations of the weather. It starts first of all by assessing what the current weather conditions are. We try to find out how much rainfall is being detected at that point in time. We are assessing wind speed or wind direction, and the atmospheric pressure is detected. The temperature is also sensed, as well as the humidity at any location. We have the automatic weather stations, and we have over 80 of them right across the 14 parishes. Apart from these instruments, we have visual observations that are done by meteorological technicians, and they do observations of the cloud cover, the wind conditions. They view the visibility, how far they can see in the distance. There are many parameters that are measured just by using the senses. We have our Doppler radar. It shows us where across the country rainfall is actually occurring at any point in time. We also sense what is happening in the atmosphere above the ground. So this is where our weather balloon comes into play, because that weather balloon is released twice every day in Jamaica to assess the atmosphere using a bit of equipment that is attached to that balloon. There are also like buoys that are in the ocean. They are sensing weather conditions. We have some ships that are equipped with stations that bring in information. There are pilots that send in information via aircraft. Then what we do with that information afterwards is that all of it goes into numerical weather prediction models. It gets crunched by a supercomputer. It sends back now some model data that tells us what is expected to occur. But of course, we don't rely entirely on the technology, because the experience of our forecasters is also important. We then have to sit down and assess what is really happening to the atmosphere. Using the local knowledge, using our understanding of the topography of the island, where the hills are located, where we're likely to get the land breezes and the sea breezes. All these things we have to take into consideration when we come up with a forecast for any specific point in Jamaica. It is a complex process, but that is how we in the Met Service actually forecast our weather conditions.
You're looking so beautiful today, miss.
Thank you.
So I can get you
1-800, keep your eye on the road.
She's spicy, sir. Moving on. Perfect. When everybody move them car to the left, me I go just chant it behind the ambulance here.
Excuse me, sir. Stop the foolishness. You really gotta tell the ambulance?
We've come to the end of our show for today. Do join us again tomorrow when we'll bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website at jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.